I'm giving out good vibrations. Shabbat Shalom citations. Hine ma tohu manai. Shevet achim kam yachad. Good, 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 good vibration. Good, 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 good vibration. I'm giving out good vibrations. Shabbat Shalom citations. Queen Matovu Banai. Shevet Achim Kam Yachad. Good, 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 good vibration. Good, 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 good vibrations. Let me hear you guys. I'm giving out Shabbat Shalom citation. Good, good, tofu manai. Shevet achim yachad. Good, 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 good vibrations. Good, 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 good vibrations. One more time. I'm giving out good vibrations. Shabbat Shalom citations. Hine ma tovu manai. Shevet achim yachad. Good, 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 good vibrations. Good, 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 good vibration. Only good vibrations on Shabbat. And we have an extra set of vibrations that's from the Torah. Okay. The Sabbath prayer. Deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord, and keep them from the stranger's way. May God bless you and grant you long life. Make you good mothers and wives. The Lord protect and defend you. May the Lord preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer. Amen. Let's go from the beginning. Here we go. May the Lord protect and defend you. May He always shield you from shame. May you come to me in Israel, a shining day. May you be like Ruth and like Esther. May you be deserving of praise. Strengthen them, O Lord. preserve you from pain. Favor them, O Lord, with happiness and peace. Oh, hear our Sabbath prayer.
Is that Brian Wilson there singing with you? Who is that there? Hey, Ethan. Very nice to have everybody here. Does it feel like we're starting to close down the summer yet, or no? No, look at it. No, Roger. No, thank you very much. It feels like at the end, it's always a nice Shabbat in the summer to have surf. Makes you think a little bit of that spirit of the summer and enjoyment. And so we'll play out the last couple weeks of the summer. We're going to be able to now follow with Shalom Aleichem. So I want you to please stand up. Don't worry about your prayer books for now or anything that you're holding. Put them down. And can they put their arms around each other on this one? Or? Absolutely. Okay, put your arms around each other. Show a little love. All right? If you're neighbors, go ahead. Especially if you're like husband and wife, you're talking to each other. That's a good thing. All right? We're going to join together the words Shalom Aleichem. If you don't know it, just hum along and move with us. Here we go.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon. Yehi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Yehi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Yehi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seichem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Yehi melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh
We remain standing, please, for the blessing of the Shabbat candle. Sam and Farouk, is she here? No, she didn't make it tonight. Sam Hakaki, come join us, please, here as you're going to lead us, help to lead us in the blessing of the Shabbat candles as we begin and join together with the blessing in Hebrew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav Vitzivanu lehadlik ner Vitzivanu
God, grant me and my loved ones a chance truly to rest on this Shabbat. May the light of these candles drive out from among us the spirit of anger, the spirit of harm. Send blessings to my children that they may walk in the ways of your Torah, your light. As the great doors of the night are opening, we come into the clean quiet of Shabbat. Let us be thankful as we light these candles for this moment of peace. Amen.
Be seated. Be able to follow now in the prayer book in the Siddur, page 11. Page 11, we have Hebrew, we have transliteration, and you'll find there Lechu Neranena.
Actually, the page on the song sheet number 5 is Lechu Neranena.
Oh, got some English here. Okay, good.
I want you to sing the melody. It's just like this. Lie, 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 lie. Try that. Lie, 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 lie. Lechu neranena, Ladonai. Let's raise our voice in song. Our souls lifted with joy. Nikat mafana bitoda bismirot nariano. We come in thanks to you, our rock since days of old. Let's sing lie lie. Lie 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 again. Hashamayim.
And you'll find that page 14. We don't have it on the handout, right? No handout. All right, page 14.
השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגר הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגר הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגר הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים בתגר הארץ. ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים, ירם הים,
Romemu, you'll find on the handout, number 3, and I guess to Barbara Ann. Can't wait to hear this
No,
one.
it can't be. It can't be. Rabbi asked me today, so are there any surprises? I said, no, not one. Maybe 2. 3. Here we go. Went to the mount, God's holy house. Great exultation makes me want to shout a Romemu, Romo, Romo, Romemu, Romemu. Ishtachavu lahar kodsho, Romemu, Romo, Romemu. Nations tremble, worlds quake, awe-inspiring. God is great, Romemu, Romo, Romo, Romemu. Ishtachavu lahar kodsho, Romemu, Romo, Romemu. Went to the mount, God's holy house. Great exultation makes me want to shout out, Romemu, Romo, Romo, Romemu, Romemu. Ishtachavu lahar kodsho, Romemu, Romo, Romemu. Nations tremble, worlds quake, awe-inspiring. God is great, Romemu, Romo, Romo, Romemu, Romemu. Ishtachavu lahar kodsho, Romemu, Romo, Romemu.
Lechado D. First show went a little late there. The page 23, you'll find Lechado D. This is when we're going to welcome in that beautiful Shabbat bride. A little bit later, we're going to celebrate our anniversary Shabbat. So those of you who are here and can think of your spouse walking down that aisle, I want you to think of that great love that you felt at that moment. As those doors open, you'll imagine Shabbat coming in to join us. We begin to page 23. We'll let you know when to stand, but we'll join together Lechado D.
Lecha dodi likrat kala.
That's right, join along.
B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekavela. וזכור בדיבורך השמיענו אל המלוכה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. Try it. לך אדוני לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ולך תראו הברכה בראש מקדש לשוחה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה.
Here we go. That's it. Page 25, the final verse, we face towards the door.
בואי ושלום עטרת בלה גם בשמחה ובצולה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה בואי חלה שבת נקבלה. לך אדוני לקראת קלה בני שבת נקבלה.
Remain standing. Page 39A for the Baruch Hu, the official call to prayer.
Ba 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 Baruch Hu, ba 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 Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, Baruch Hu, ba 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 Baruch Hu, ba 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 Baruch Hu.
Wasn't expecting that. You may be seated. I think that's part of what prayer is supposed to be about, the unexpected. Right? Isn't that something like you know when something's going to come and you just feel like you know the words? We call that keva, we call that fixed prayer. But every so often in moments like this, there is kavanah. There is that unadulterated surprise of unexpected prayer coming from the heavens, and you have to just admire. And so thank you for that moment. So the big eclipse coming Monday. You all ready? How many of you bought special glasses to be able to watch it? How many of you made sure you got the right ones that won't burn your retinas out? Okay, there you go. You know, it's quite fascinating. So you all know that that the solar eclipse is not it's not unusual. Right? It's not, it happens, I forget, every 7 years or something, or more frequently, but over different places, usually over the oceans, in which is 70% of our, right, of our mass, and so you don't see it. So they don't have, but they happen. But you have to imagine in the ancient world, when they didn't know about such things, and in their lifetime, how many would they actually see in terms of a real eclipse? In the sense of what it meant to have the two great celestial bodies, right, to collide in the sky. Can you imagine if you'd never seen it before? Right, just heading towards each other. And what's going to happen? Are they going to blow up? Will they be destroyed? Will the sun be blotted out forever? In the sense of fear that was in their hearts. By the way, perhaps that's what was experienced in Egypt as a memory in terms of that plague of darkness. But we still, even though, by the way, that you can all rationalize this, does it seem like a great miracle, this the eclipse? Does it seem like a great miracle or not? Yeah, kind of like it'll be something special to see, but I understand it. You know, Abraham Joshua Heschel talked about the beauty of nature. And even when he talked about the sense of an awesome experience and in being in a state where one just appreciates nature for what it is. And then he says, well, what happens when you understand it? So like the Grand Canyon. How many of you have been to the Grand Canyon? Beautiful, spiritual, right? And by the way, it's really just millions of years of erosion. That's what it is. Water that's gone down millions of years. Not so exciting and not so thrilling when you explain it like that. But it still is. So Heschel said, Bonnie, what he said was that even though you can explain it, the fact that you can be there and to marvel at it, that's the miracle. So nature has always, in our tradition, been a way that we experience God, even when we understand it. I think that's what's going to happen Monday. So let's read together this reading on page 39A in English. On the left-hand side, the very far side, right, on the bottom, it's entitled, you have to get your glasses like I did on this one, God and Nature, an Interpretive Translation. I'll begin, and then you'll respond on the italicized lines if you can make those out. Beloved, are you eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. Your turn. Light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, creator of all, you are made manifest. Blessed are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim.
Page 41, we continue. Havat Olam. You'll find it here actually as well in your translated song sheet number 4.
Ahavat Olam beYisrael, Amcha ahavta Torah umitzvot. Ahavat Olam, chukim umishpatim, otanu lemadta. Ahavat Olam,
God's eternal love,
Ahavat Olam,
from heaven above,
Ahavat Olam,
Torah and mitzvot,
Ahavat Olam,
chukim umishpatim,
Ahavat Olam, Olam. Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam v'layla, v'avatcha התסיר ממנו מאור לעולמי. Everyone. אהבת עולם, God's eternal love, אהבת עולם. From heaven above, אהבת עולם. Torah and mitzvot, אהבת עולם. חוקים ומשפטים, אהבת עולם. עולם. אהבת עולם בין ישראל. עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות. אהבת עולם, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. Come on everybody. אהבת עולם, God's eternal love, אהבת עולם. From heaven above, אהבת עולם. Torah and mitzvot, אהבת עולם. חוקים ומשפטים, אהבת עולם. עולם. ואהבתך תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Page 41, our Bar Mitzvah Shehan is going to lead us in the Shema. And those of you who wish, I invite you to close your eyes if you want for the first 6 words of the Shema, which profess our oneness, echad, with God. Shehan leads us together.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levacha v'chol nafshecha u'vechol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom levavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha etecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshach becha kumecha uvshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot beinenecha uvtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha.
Let's read together the English translation of the Ve'ahavta on the opposite page where it begins, you shall love, join with me please. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall sink into heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We continue silently on the next page, 42, Hebrew or English.
Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim lelohichem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hoteti etchem meretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelohim ani Adonai Elohechem.
feeling better now? I told you. Yeah. Go ahead. I was telling this nervous until you get that first prayer out of the way. We continue page 44 with Michamocha. Shabbat in the inside, you'll find on page 3 a prayer for healing. I'm sure there are people in your lives who are in need of healing and strength, whether it's physical or emotional, addiction, whatever it may be. We suffer and our souls are in pain. So I want you, as we read together, first the English, and then we'll go into the prayer song at the end. Whether it's for you or for someone else, I want you to bring them to mind when we have the moment of reflection, to really send out the prayers so that they and we can feel their healing power. Let's read together the English, please. Heal us, O Lord, and we shall be healed. Help us and save us, for you are our glory. Grant perfect healing for all our afflictions. May it be your will, Lord our God, God of our ancestors, send perfect healing of body and soul to, at this time, your private prayers. those at home, perhaps live streaming from our hearts and our prayers. May our healing powers go forth. May we all feel healing together and comfort, and let us say, Amen. The Hashkivenu, you'll find page 45, speaks of God's sukkah of peace to protect us, and boy, do we need that sukkah more than ever before. Let us join together the Hashkivenu.
Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ashkivenu Just you guys. Hush.
It's been a rough week, hasn't it? You feel emotionally drained? The ups, the downs. I'd say every day a new surprise, but it seems like every minute a new surprise. I want to talk about souls being in pain as individuals and as a nation. If you want to know my personal thoughts, I encourage you in terms of going on to my Facebook. You'll find there a couple postings about about my specific thoughts. If you haven't seen, by the way, yet the show Vice that aired. How many of you have seen the recent episode of I think it aired already this past week. Did it air this week? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. Okay, you have to see this, Nathan. Don't you have to see this? They were allowed. Vice is it a weekly show? My son watches, right? He's really, right, he's a very powerful segment, half hour or so. Okay, and every week a different issue, different topic, but the white supremacists actually allowed them in the discussions before the events actually on Sunday. That Saturday they took place, right? So they came on Friday and started interviewing, and it's unbelievable. There's footage there from Friday night of where they're marching through campus with tiki torches and with expressions, by the way, against Jews of saying, I'm not quite sure what it means, by the way, the Jews will not replace us. As a chant, over and over and over, the Jews will not replace us. And you can't not bring images of Nazi Germany in the early 1930s. You can't. I'm going to tell you, you're going to watch it, and it's going to be impossible. And we realize, and Jews know this, how quickly hatred can be manifest from words into actions. So I want you to look online. I want you to read and understand where I'm coming from, the dangers I think we really do face as a nation. But I want to share a prayer here. And I want you to understand this prayer is not just in its context that I read it, it's written by Rabbi Ari Sachs, but to understand that today that Hazan Stein and I met with Pastor Najuma and Pastor Fisher, our friends that we developed this relationship with, from two significant African-American churches. And it was a difficult discussion. It was hard. It was hard to hear their pain, sense of abandonment by the Jewish community, the sense of what we need to do to speak out against hatred and the challenges we face, and if not now, when? It was a deeply, I'm telling you, I was exhausted after this meeting emotionally. So I want to offer a prayer. Adonai el malei rachamim, Lord God, who is full of compassion. This week we're feeling the absence of your compassion. We know you placed into our hands the choice of blessing or curse in this week's portion, but God, at times our hands seem too weak to handle that choice. We react out of our most base instincts. We fear that which we do not know, and we cultivate hopelessness for political gain. But beyad afkiruchi, into your hands, O God, have we entrusted our spirit. Hands that hold us up, that do not strike us down. Hands that caress our wounded hearts, that do not inflict upon us any more harm. Please, God, help us find the space to love when the instinct is to hate. Open the hearts of your creations who are full of hate to the power of your compassion, while instructing us on the just way to be intolerant of intolerance. As we proclaim never again, never again, never again, may you comfort the families of Heather Heyer and State Troopers Jay Cullen and Burke Bates. And may you inspire the vision, the will within all of humanity to achieve a day with no hate and only peace. And let us say, the word ahava in Hebrew, you take the numerical value of that, each letter representing a number, comes out to a total of 13. If you look at, if you want to understand what love is in the Jewish tradition, the word echad, you ought to add up those letters, it's also 13. Echad meaning one. When you love someone, you become one with them. Their pain is your pain. So I think that that's what we need to focus on, the oneness of love in our country, in our lives, and in our relationships. I make an awkward segue here into anniversary Shabbat. And of love. God knows anybody who survives marriage knows there are moments when you don't understand the other. And you can only understand when you find that oneness and to find and to feel where they are. And that helps us overcome those moments. And what does it feel like when you're a couple and you feel abandoned? And you don't feel that sense of oneness. You don't feel that love. But love Love is what we celebrate. It's what we aspire to. It's what we seek in the oneness of life and in the world. So we're going to celebrate love this evening and its potential to overcome so much. So Nathan and Allison, you're going to be our first couple actually celebrating their first anniversary. Give them a hand. Stand up. In fact, if I stand right here, this is about where I was a year ago, as they were married right here in the sanctuary. And those of you who don't know, we send out some questions each year for couples to answer. This year, they could answer a couple of different questions. What is your favorite memory, what is your very first memory of your spouse? 2, if money were no object, what one thing would you buy for your spouse? And 3, what is your favorite place that you have visited together and why? I won't give all the answers for all the people, but it's always a great exercise to do together. All right, but Nathan, when it said, what is your very first memory? Nathan said, Allison really liked 2 of my favorite performers on our first date at the Magic Castle. And she said, Nathan was 30 minutes late to our first date. But he was worth waiting for. All right, so that's very, isn't that, go ahead, If money were no object, what would you buy for your spouse? Allison would get unlimited funding for all the public health research. All right, and I would give Nathan a trip around the world, including his first cruise. Well, we hope, you got one coming up yet or no, that first cruise? All right, we'll wait for that. Happy anniversary. All right, there we go. All right, Afira and Oren, where are you? Right back there. We jumped from 1 to 14 years. Stand up. All right. All right, they have 3 children. 3 children. Are they all here? Somewhere, we hope. Eitan, Lior, Merav. All right, and what's your first memory? Ophira says, is that his real hair? I met a wig-wearing Oren at a Purim party who looked like Howard Stern. All right, and Oren said he thought at that very same party, what's a nice Jewish girl doing in a Chinese costume like this? So it's amazing first memories, impressions. If money were no object, right, Ophira said she would buy Oren's business so he could stay home and go crazy faster. Oren says he would hire a wife, so-called, for Ophira so all the jobs could get done in a single day. Yeah. Happy 14th anniversary to both of you. All right. Alan and Goose, stand up right there, you two. All right. Together 20 years, but give them a hand for 20 years. But not married quite as long legally because, thank God we eventually got Supreme Court change. I know you two celebrated that. And what was your first memory of, now, you didn't put who was saying what, but I'm going to guess that Guz, you said about Alan's funny South African accent, right? Do you find it quaint yet or no? Yeah, now you do. Okay, good. And Alan said, Guz's smile. If money were no object, unlimited travels together. And vacation, what would be a favorite vacation spot? Italy, romantic, great food, and beautiful. Their 2 children as well. Happy 20 years. It's beautiful. All right, give them a hand. Holly and Jeff Goldsmith, you're here. There you are. Stand up. 33 years. Staten Island, and he said, first memory, meeting on a blind date at a Chinese restaurant in New York, and I was not interested. Is that what you said? And she said, at the Chinese restaurant, he spoke out about the food taking too long. You should have known what was coming by then. It impressed me that he would say something. All right, if money were no object, he says, a mortgage-free house anywhere she wants to live. And he says, a private meeting for him, right? This would be your gift for him, a private meeting with Paul McCartney. Wouldn't that be nice? Anyway, happy 33 years of marriage. All right. Jerry and Moradina Appleby. All right, there we go. 42 years. All right. So this you have to know, back in 1975, it's another era. And so where did they meet? They met at a kibbutz, if you will, of sorts, Shvea. And so how did she see? What was her first memory? He was laying by the pool wearing a big Jewish star. He had a full head of hair and a six-pack stomach. Those were the years, Jerry, weren't they? All right, and she said, of all the Israelis that I met that first night at Ulpan in Mea Shvea, Dina was the most beautiful and the only one who would speak in Hebrew to us. All the others only wanted to practice their English. And that's what we love about Dina. She loves to speak to us in Hebrew and make sure that we all keep up on our Hebrew. If money were no object, right, Dina said, what would she get? A chauffeur. Why? So that he can concentrate on talking to her while he's in the car. And he said a luxury jet so she could fly anywhere in the world she wanted at any time with unlimited airport hassles. Where you can visit your kids and grandkids all over the world. Happy 42 years. Give them a hand. All right, Tuckman, stand up, you. 47 years. Come on. There you go. Early memories, Maxine in a little green dress on a blind date. That's your first memory. He said she said we watched Johnny Carson together that night. Tiny Tim got married on the show. Yes, of course. And if money were no object, she would buy him a sailboat. And if money were an object, buy her a vacation condo on the beach. All right, so we want to wish you happy 47 years and Mazal Tov. So I have remaining 51 and 58 years. Anybody here that wants to acknowledge an anniversary that we have you here for anything less than 51 or 58 years? Anybody? All right, let's go on to 51. All right, Bonnie and Roger, stand up. 51 years, all right. 3 children. I asked if you have grandchildren, so they put in the line 9, but it wasn't enough for Bonnie. She had to make an exclamation point, 9. Right, and if money were no object, what would you buy your spouse? I buy him his eyesight, and I would buy her hearing. Isn't that great? Roger, we once asked a couple, been here, they're married like about 70 years. We asked them the success of the secret of their marriage, and he looked at us with a straight face, and he said, I can turn down my hearing aid. And vacation, ideal vacation, our grandchildren, anywhere, any place. All right, happy 51 years. Mark and Barbara, get up, you two, 58 years. What's your very first memory of your spouse? We don't remember. Wasn't quite true. No, you wrote, it was at my house for my brother's AZA meeting. So you were there for the AZA meeting, and you were about 8 years old at the time, Barbara? Something like that, right? And that was your earliest memory. If money were no object, what would you buy? Together, they said, another 50 years together. Those of you celebrating an anniversary, why don't you stand? We're going to acknowledge you. We're going to share with you a blessing. So if you're celebrating an anniversary, even if we didn't call you and you had an anniversary and you want to acknowledge it, please rise.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May the Lord bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God's presence always shine upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May the love you share always be an inspiration, not just for you, but for your families and all of us, to teach us that love, ahava, should always be echad, oneness. May that blessing come to us to help create peace. And let us all say, Amen.
Oh, Yishabai, Be'arei Yehuda, the footsteps
rise together, please. Page 46, Cheyenne, you're going to lead us in the Shamru. You told me you want them to sing along with you, didn't you? And you want them to join with you. You don't want to leave you hanging out there alone. So they're going to join with you in the Shamru. Here we go.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה ויאמר יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך ובמך ובחיי לכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה תאירן בעלמה ויאמרו
you'll find the Amidah recited silently in the evenings before we enter into this oneness of relationship with God, either Hebrew, English, or the private prayers of your heart. We're going to begin together with a meditation at the top of page 47. Adonai tzvatai tiftach ufi yagiti latecha. Please, God, help me open my lips. My mouth may proclaim your praise.
Na 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 Adonai na 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 Svotai tiftach na 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 Ufi yagi na 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 Svotai tifta na 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 Ufiagi tehila Shalom bimrama Uyase shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru Shalom bimrama, Uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Page 54, the Kaddish Shalem.
יתגלה ויגלה שמר רבה ולמדים בחילותיהם יום לכבוד כזה בחייכון וימכון ובחיי לכל ביצרו וגלו בזמן קריב ימרו אמן יש מרב המרורה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרום וינשא ויתהדר ויתהלל שמי דקודשה וכולי להאמין כל בכתב ושירתת שמחת ונחמתת המרן בעלמה וימרו אמן תתגבר צלתנו עד הוד רבי ישראל כדמון שמיה וימרו אמן יהא שלום הרבה מן שמיו וחיים עליהם אל כל ישראל וימרו אמן עושה שלום במלחמה יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו amen.
Page 55, we rise together as Cheyenne leads us in the Kiddush.
Ruach atah Adonai
Grape juice or wine? It's wine, I think. Want to try again? Okay, go back. All right, we remain seated. Standing. Don't remain seated. Remain standing. We continue on Leno, page 56.
עלינו לשבח לדור הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא ראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה. שם חלקינו כהם, וגול עלינו כחול לעולם ועד
remember in love and reverence the yortzites of those who have been gathered unto their people. On this Shabbat, remember the passings of Sid Barbanel, Samuel Dater, Eric Adam Flesher, Adolf Gottfried, Isidore Morris, David Vinetsky, Jack Frank, Sylvia Glasser, Isidore Hurwitz, Elia Khalili, David Strauss, Albert Sucher, Ben Bass, Mildred Bender, William Gelfand, Oscar Alberto Kletsky, Eva Mandel, Simon Morris, Marvin Chancer, Benjamin Hershowitz, Jacob Levin, Fanny Mahler, Hugo Phillip, Judith Robbins, Howard David Thomas, Vera Vigil, Fidel Braun, Ruth Gorin, George Kaplan, Sam Katz, William Krause, Rima Nadel, Marlene Thomas, Murray Walmark, Daniel Bernstein, Florence Chestnut, Ned Gavinter, Esther Lieber, Melvin Sachs Rosen, Rodolfo Suchowicki. Did I pronounce that correctly? Is his family here? I think they're supposed to be here this evening. I want to make sure I got it. And Melvin Elliott Pucker. Also mindful and saddened by the recent bereavements of passings in our community. We mourn the passing of Stephen Goldberg, the son of Gail Fisher. Gail, who's a regular here at synagogue and volunteers in our gift shop. Her son passed away, the funeral taking place on Sunday. We mourn the passing of Sheila Halfon, the mother of Stacy Bass. We mourn the passing of Sherry Weintraub, the mother of Matt Weintraub. At this time, I invite all who have need or desire to recite the words of the Mourner's Kaddish to rise, page 58. And whether you're here in the congregation or perhaps at home, be surprised how many people tune into our live streaming in order to be part of this community, to be inspired, and to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. So on page 58, those reciting the Kaddish, you join together as we respond and hopefully give you strength and comfort as you begin together. Yit Gadal, the Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. Amen. Yalma Divrach Hirute, V'yamlich Malchute, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, Chaye Dechol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv Yimeru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mavorach, Le'olam Umei Omaya. Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Dekudesha, Riyechu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, Damiran B'alma V'meru. Amen. Yehi Shlamat Rabbah Min Shemaya, Chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'meru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'meru. Amen. May God establish His peace in the heavens, grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel, and all of humanity. As we say, Amen. You may be seated. My pleasure to call forward our newly coronated president. All right, still feeling the reins of office. Julie, how's it going so far? Awesome. All right, come on, share with us some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I told Hazonstein just a few minutes ago that I don't know about you, but I feel like we all really needed this music tonight. It was great. So thank you. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom. Let's start over. Shabbat Shalom and a warm welcome to Temple Aliyah's every third Shabbat, Surfin' Shabbat. Mazel tov to the couples who are celebrating their anniversaries for July and August. Tomorrow, our Shabbat morning service begins at 9:15 a.m. with the bar mitzvah of Cheyenne Hakakian. Looking forward to that. You're on your way to a great day. Next Friday night, August 25th, is Shabbat Live at 6:30 p.m. Next Saturday, August 26th, services begin at 9:15 a.m. with the bar mitzvah of Jordan Gajar and the Ofruf of Gila Kreitenberg and Matthew Rivera. Information on all Temple Aliyah events can be found in the blue and gold Kol Shabbat pamphlet that was handed out to you, and also on our Temple Aliyah website at templealiyah.org. Thank you to our ushers and greeters for welcoming our congregation and guests this evening, and thank you to our wonderful musicians who definitely did not wipe out this evening. I didn't, it's not my, I have to get a new writer maybe, I don't know. Please join us for our Onik Shabbat immediately following the service tonight, which is graciously sponsored by the Hakakian family in honor of Cheyenne's bar mitzvah. Lastly, I'd like to remind our congregation and our visitors to refrain from using electronic devices such as cameras, cell phones, video games while at the synagogue during Shabbat. We appreciate your thoughtfulness as we maintain the sanctity of our Shabbat observance. Shabbat Shalom.
All right. It feels like a past president's convention here at Temple Aliyah. We got Mayor, we got Dave, we got Rick back there. It's really nice to see everybody here. And Ethan, look at you. You know, from bar mitzvah to college and back, and look at it with a beautiful voice. You sang in the a cappella choir at school? Is that you? Wow. Well, we look forward to more of your music here at Temple Aliyah. Let's rise together. We're going to finish off with a strong Adon Olam, page 211.
So Adon Olam is God who is master of the world. So there really is a reason why I pick different tunes, and why we picked this one is called Everybody's Gone Surfing. Here we go. Adon Olam Hashem Allah B'terem kol yitzir nivra V'yet nasa v'chetz hakol Azay melech shemo nikra V'yachar mekiflor hakol Levado yimloch nora V'hu haya v'hu hoveh B'tifara V'hu echad me'ein sheni להמשיל לו להחמירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשחק והוא אלי וחגו לי וצורחב לי ביצרה והוא ניסי ומנסלי ונקוסי ביום אקרא בידו אפקיד רוחי בעד ישן ועירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדוני השם עליי בטרם כל יציר נברא וינסה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא. Let's hear that guitar one time. בטרם כל יציר נברא וינסה בחפצו כל אזי מלך שמו נקרא.